This is a Facebook Live at Hot. I do not plan to do it on schedule, but this morning when I wake up, I've seen a very interesting video. It's about 5-6 minutes long. It's actually posted by one of my Facebook friend from Malaysia. Apparently, the context is, first of all, we have to give full credits to the Malaysians, because unlike the Singaporeans, the Malaysians in the last 3 weeks, I noticed they have done quite fantastic work. Partly because, number one, Malaysians are more independent than Singaporean. This is the truth. Singaporeans are still looking for government to provide them with the money, the support. I mean, no offense to Singaporean here. I live in Singapore, but this is how I felt. So some Malaysians actually have gathered, combined forces to run their multiple speakers event, and this is awesome. Some people make a lot of money in terms of millions of ringgit in just one speaker fest. We call it speaker fest. All right, so the thing is this: there are actually quite a number of people who are young. So okay, don't put people down because they are young. They might not be experienced, and they might be doing something that is deemed inappropriate. So many people will start with this saying that how many of you would like to be sold? Nobody would like to be sold. In fact, people want to buy. So whenever you run any webinar, the first thing you need to understand is that, as I said on the Facebook title, your audiences are not dumb ass. They are smart. They have already gone through many types of previews, webinars, and they know what the shit that we are doing. So typically what happens is this: the thing that this person has done on the video, he may basically said a couple of things. If you say that I don't do this for money, that's a bullshit. So that's what the person said. How do you actually come up with this statement? Because I want to show that I'm not doing this for money. I'm rich, I'm financially independent, and that's the reason why I don't want to charge you money. But the fact is this: aren't you running a business? So the key point of handling this objection is that it's not appropriate to say that I don't do this for money, because some people do not believe in you. So how do you handle this then? Very simple. Tell them that at the end, there will be an opportunity to invest. This is the key. At the end of what I've done, I will give you whatever values I will in these 2 hours, if this is a 2 hours thing. But at the end of the day, understand something. Some of you will be encouraged to take action, will have an opportunity to invest. So instead of saying that I don't do this for money, why can't you be transparent and say that, well, at the end of the day, I do have an opportunity for you to invest. So you can state it upfront. That will be the best thing to handle this objection, because there are people who are learning how to do the preview, and they are copying the script without any understanding the true essence of why some people say this. I don't do this for money. Yeah, we got people who are quite rich, quite independent financially, and they are not doing this for money. But the point is that if you are a young guy, he's 20, 25 years old, and you say that you don't do this for money, it smells. Why? Because nobody believes in this world that you are able to say this when you are 25 years old. Why? Because if you can say this, it's either you are lucky or you are a second generation family where the family is very, very rich. You basically have a silver spoon when you were born. Because people are not dumb. So if you are young, this script is not powerful because you can't do this. Like perhaps for me, I'm 51, that may still work, but I will not talk about this. Simply put, I don't do this for money. Of course I will do this for money because I want to compensate the time I spent in what I'm doing, because time is valuable. So I will ask for money, and there's such a thing called exchange. So if I don't do this for money, then what is the exchange that I'm after? So you remember when I did my 6 flip chart close, one of the key things I said is the exchange. There must be a valuable exchange. So instead of saying that I don't do this for money, which is very bullshit, why can't you be so upfront and say, hey, I'm doing this because I want to share what I know, but at the end of the day, I do have an opportunity for some people in this room to invest, to continue with me, to study my process. And it's not free, it's going to cost you money. Because understand something, there's no skin in the game, there won't be any action taken. So I'm looking for people who are committed to my process and are willing to do whatever I tell them to do. And therefore, I will not do this for money, but I need a fair exchange. So that's the first way to handle this. It sounds a lot more elegant. So in Speakers Success Secrets, what I'm doing now is something that you will not hear outside, not because there are people who will not talk about it. It's just that no one will want to release these secrets to people in the public, partly because some people will not feel appreciated. Like at this time when you're watching a Facebook Live, you notice that nobody watch. Like you are in this speaker's circle and you are basically not watching what I'm doing. So again, that is the thing. You want to share, but this doesn't mean that people will appreciate. It might not be the right time for you to watch it. You might be doing something else. But my point is that if I'm not doing this with you guys, then I'm not giving you the value. At the end of the day, do I sell you anything? Well, understand something, when I'm doing Facebook Live, I don't have a call to action. I'm just really giving you the information. Like I do charge people this kind of thing when I construct the close. But here is one thing, sometimes when you're talking about this kind of shit, people smell. It smells, people will smell it, understand? So in that video, the other complaint is that, well, there won't be any upsell. Again, it smells. How many of you realize that when we train speakers, we are not training speakers to get speakers fee one time, that's it. When you are done with a presentation, we will just say, hey, standing ovation, thank you very much, awesome, good job. No, we don't. We will always make an offer. So if you are saying to your crowd that there won't be upsell, and later on there is an upsell, that again is a problem. Like young folks, when you're running a preview, and you say that I'm not doing this for money, it already smells. And then there's no upsell. Whether you actually talk about there is an upsell, all your credibility will be gone. So why don't you be very transparent and say that, well, at the end there's an opportunity to invest, to continue the education. So wherever you are doing something before you make the offer, be very transparent and say there will be an offer at the end. Because people will be prepped that, okay, that is an offer to be made at the end. And then what you do, you promise these people that I will do a good job, make sure that I've given you all the values that you need. And then you can decide what to do. Some of you may not be understanding something. That I did a Facebook Live on Monday this week. I talk about the A and B close. The A and B close is just to conform with what I said. At the end of the day, I hope that I've given you whatever values I promised to give you during these 2 hours. Here's one thing I would like you to do. As human beings, we have choices. Understand my languaging. At the end of the day, there are choices, and I do respect your choices. Some people will take the information and say, I will do it by myself. I'll figure this out. I will spend my freaking time to do it. With that, totally respect. You see, I say that with that, totally respect. Why? Because it's their decision. But there are some people who want some help. So this is what I would do for the other group of people. If you decide to shorten your time in order to shorten your learning curve and spend less time to create the result, let me help you. Let me show you the path of possibility. Let me help you move faster, expedite your transformational process. Of course, there will be time spent by me with you, which means that it's not going to be free. Again, remember I said there must be an honorable exchange. So if you are very upfront at the beginning to explain honorable exchange, then you don't need to talk about that I don't do this for money or there's no upsell, because you have already handled that at the beginning. This is the reason why when I'm doing my preview, I'm different from others, because I have gone through this path of saying this shit. And I know that my audiences know it doesn't work, because people are very sophisticated. People have already gone through many, many types of previews. And therefore, if you are saying all this shit, people will actually, hey, good morning, David. Nice to see you. So I'm actually handling some of this shit. Like David, you see that I don't do this for money. There are people in Malaysia doing a preview who say that I don't do this for money. And it was actually frowned upon or complained by a lot of people. And then we've got people say there's no upsell. Eventually, they actually make an upsell. Okay, some of the complaints. For the 17 people who embrace this offer, you have this special deal. But then the complaint was that after half an hour time, after 17 people have signed up, somehow the link is still open. The link still allows more people to sign up. Again, when you want to use scarcity or fear of missing out, be transparent. If you say merely 17 people, these 17 people, like David, thank you, like this is really bullshit. So when you are making this offer, for first 17 people, you just have to make sure that 17. Otherwise, don't use this. Why? Because if you are lying and people discover, your credibility will be gone immediately and nobody will trust you anymore. In this industry, it's all about trust and credibility. You can use whatever flowery language to make your presentation like awesome one, very elegant one, it sounds too good, no problem, because it's all about languaging. But at the end of the day, it is still about your transparency. It's your credibility, your reputation that matters. So from my perspective, I won't say that there will be 17 people unless I know that I can only help 17 people. Like one of the things that I'm doing right now, I can only help 8 people in one round, which is true because I do have a restriction. So I'm very upfront. I say I can only help 8. When 8 is up, that's it. My door is closed. So I do follow what I say, and I will not exceed my requirement. So let's say I've got 9 people who register. I will say the 9th person, I'm sorry, you'll be on waiting list. Because honestly, unless one of the 8 has back off, you won't be able to join. Like I said, I only limit to 8 people. One of the trading courses that I'm doing, I've just finished. I said I only help that amount of people. The door is closed, and I'm not helping any additional people. Why? I need to work on with my group right now so that they are able to create results. They are able to do things that I promised when they have done their work, there will be results. They will make money from the market. Okay, so I'm focusing my time nurturing and helping my current group of people. Do you think I can actually offer my course to other people? Of course. When Jed decides to come out and talk about trading, I bet my reputation in the last 10 years I can come out and sell. But I don't. Why? Because I can't help other people. When I am not able to help other people, I will be very upfront and I will not say that I will go out and help other people. Okay? So another thing, webinar is free. Okay, come to join my webinar, it's free. Understand this. People know that the webinar is not free. Why? Because number one, think about it. They have to spend 2 hours listening to your presentation. How can this be free? In terms of the time they spent. So number one, before we start our webinar, before we start our preview, we will always acknowledge the time spent because they could have been elsewhere, they could have been doing something, or even though they are in your room right now, they might still be thinking of something else. So first of all, you have to acknowledge the presence in terms of the time, in terms of the effort to be in the room, etc., etc. So if you do not handle this little voice at the beginning, again, they will not feel appreciated. In fact, you know at the end you're going to make an offer. It can't be just a free webinar, 2 hours, and at the end say, thank you very much for watching, I'll see you next time. You won't do that, right? So instead of saying the webinar is free, why don't you first of all appreciate them, acknowledge their presence at the beginning. And at the beginning, also let them know that at the end, there will be opportunity to invest. You don't need to say yes now. All I want is to show you what I have got. And if you truly believe this is something that can help to solve your problem, then we talk about the business at the end. We're happy to discuss the opportunity at the end. Done. So you don't need to say the webinar is free. Why? Because you know you're going to make an offer anyway. So you see the style that I learned is always very transparent. Like it's a conversation. You know I will help. If I can help you, I will help. If I'm not the person if I'm not the one who can help you, I will not say I will help you. Because understand something, I can't work with everybody. If you want to help everyone, you're helping nobody. Does that make sense? So the other thing about the webinar is free is again a marketing gimmick, and you know people are not stupid. They know that webinar is not free because they have to spend time. They know that you're going to sell something at the end. So why can't you be just transparent? Okay, the final thing is this. Webinar is just a rubbish. This is what the video has talked about. Is that I sat in the room, I was in the webinar 2 hours originally, but already 45 minutes. They are still talking all the nonsense. They are still coming out and say things that are not promised before I join the webinar. So again, this is something you need to realize. When you decide to teach something, when you decide to hold a webinar, you've got to deliver what you promise. You are not here to justify. You just sit still, stop complaining, wait for us, we'll make sure we give you this, because some people are not patient. There are 4 types of learners here. There are 4 types of learners. Some people, we call this the what learner. They come in, they just want to know the what, and when they get what they need, they are done. You need to deal with this group of people first. The second group of people is the why learner. Why? Because they always ask, like, why do I need to learn this? Why do I have to look at what you are? Why do I have to understand what you're talking about? What's it in for me to listen to you? They need to have all sorts of justification. So again, if you don't understand your profile of your learners, you just spend sweet time talking nonsense, then you already have cleared the first group and the second group because they are not interested in what you're doing. The third group of people, we call them the how people. The how people are the people that you need to show them the methodology, like how do I get from point A to point B. Of course, you don't need to teach them the whole thing. Like what we said in the webinar, you never teach them the whole sequence. If you do, then they will not say yes to your offer. So this is another thing you need to know. And the fourth group of people is called the what if. So what if I were to apply this to other aspects of my life? What if this happened and what if that happened? You need to talk about all the possibilities. So once again, there are 4 groups of learners: the what, the why, the how, and the what if. You do have to spend time with the how learner and the what if learner because they will take longer time emotionally and logically to think and feel of what you say. But if you are not spending time to handle the first 2 group of people in the quickest moment you can, you lose them, which is like 50% of the people. By the way, study has shown that 40% of people are how learner. About 20% of the people are what if learner, which means that 40% of the people are the what learner and the why learner. If you don't address the what and the why, you lose these people straight away. So when I come back to look at all these comments, I don't do this for money. There's no upsell. This is only for the first 17 people. This webinar is free, and eventually you deliver a webinar that is just a rubbish, which is the reason why we get bad names in this industry from someone who do not follow the rules. What do I mean by not follow the rules? The rule is that, number 1, you've got to be transparent. If you have an agenda, say it up front. You don't hold it back. The good old days model whereby you teach, and you sell, people won't buy because people know that you are going to sell. So you do not do this anymore. So I found that the old model of doing preview is not working. I'm very upfront. I say, yes, I'm going to sell you something, or at the end, I will make you an offer. I'm very upfront because I know audiences will find that it's more credible for me to say that because when I have an agenda, I say this. Number 2, understand that they need to feel appreciated. Some people coming to your event because they want to feel connected. They want to feel appreciated. If you are just truly concerned what you're offering or what your presentation is about, you do not spend time working with them, connecting with them, appreciate them and acknowledge them. Again, the connection part, once it is gone, you cannot have these people come on board for your continuing education. And number 3, this is also pretty important. Deliver what you promise to deliver, and never shortchange your audiences, because your audiences are not dumb ass. They are very professional in terms of attending multiple events. They know that when it is an event organized by one person with 10 speakers, they know it is a multiple speakers fest. Once you are into that model, first of all, Success Resources is famous creating that model called National Achievers Congress. It is 90 minutes a person up, present, pitch, and then come down, another person up, 90 minutes, pitch, present, done, another person. So the whole day is just series of 90 minutes event. That model, unfortunately, is not working anymore, because again, some people have spoiled the market, has created some sort of things that people don't believe this model anymore. So my saying is this: if you truly want to go out to help people, if you truly have something you share, you don't have an agenda, then you just share. But when you do have an agenda, all you need to do is to tell your audiences up front, be transparent. So with that, I hope you enjoy what I shared today. It's kind of me, Uncle Jack, coming out to deal with these few concerns, because these few concerns are by young folks. Like when they are young, 20, 25 years old, they don't know, they have not gone through the experiences that we have gone through, like another 20 odd years. They will find that they just copy and paste what other people have said and use the tagline. Hopefully they will find it worse. Many times when I learn how to construct my closing script, I truly understand that at the end it's not what this statement is about, because these are just the content, but what is the context? So it's always about a conversation. Coming to this part of my life when I'm doing preview or presentation, which I'm going to do one at 3 p.m. my time later on. Tomorrow is 4 p.m. my time. I would say that while I don't personally do all this shit anymore, because understand something. If you like, you buy. If you like, you invest. If you don't like, we are still good friends. Not a problem. Because some people, no matter how much you push, they will still not buy from you. You know the magic. Some people, you just push a little bit, they will buy. Some people, they just naturally attracted by you and come to you. So understand that you have the choice of working with different groups of people. So don't worry about how well your script, your languaging is in your preview. At the end, don't worry, I don't have any script. Like when I'm doing this Facebook Live again, you see that I don't have any things here. I'll just talk about it because I know the shit. Right? So therefore, I hope they enjoy this Facebook Live. Once again, if it is something that offends you because you have been using this, because it is my room, I'm telling you that this shit doesn't work. Please forget this. They are not going to work. Okay? Understand? They are not going to work. So throw them away, put them into the dustbin, and use whatever style you have. Be natural, be the person you want to be, and have a conversation with your audiences. And remember, do not have an agenda unless you really, let's say again, if you do have an agenda, say this up front so that they are prepared to listen to your offer. Okay? So thanks very much for watching. It's 23 minutes long. Okay, and if you have any questions about this particular Facebook Live, if you have any other things about speaking training, facilitation, let me know. I do my best to help you in this Facebook group, since you all joined because you want to learn more about speaking facilitation, closing, and training stuff. All right, so with that, thank you very much for watching. Your leader of Speakers Success Secrets, Jack here signing off. All good wishes.